Before completing the argument paragraph outline, please begin by putting your name, first and last, and your homeroom at the top of your paper. This assignment is worth a total of 28 points. As I previously stated, there are at least 14 sentences in an argument paragraph. You get 2 points per sentence in this outline. The directions tell you to complete the following outline once you've completed your argument paragraph brainstorming. The reason you have to do the argument paragraph brainstorming is because you're going to need this assignment in order to complete the outline. First, we're going to start with the introduction. The introduction is 3 sentences total. You need to give 1 sentence that agrees with or is for the topic, 1 sentence that agrees with or is against the topic, and your thesis statement that states your opinion on the chosen topic. An important thing to note here is that a thesis statement is just a statement that states your opinion. Once you've taken care of your introduction, you will move on to your argument. You will give 1 sentence that states your position and then give details and examples to support your argument. Then you'll move on to the opposing viewpoint, which is the counter-argument. You will give 1 sentence that states the opposing viewpoint on the issue, and then you'll have to flip it over to the back, and on the back, you will give 3 sentences explaining why the opposing viewpoint is incorrect, and you'll give details, examples, and support here. Lastly, you will finish up with your conclusion, which is 2 sentences. 1 sentence that rephrases the question or topic and summarizes your position on the issue, and then 1 sentence that summarizes your main argument and looks into the future or says what will happen if your viewpoint does not win out in the end. So now that I've gone through the directions, I'm going to go through an example. If you don't feel that you need an example, you're welcome to pause the video and get started on your assignment. So first, I need to write 1 sentence that agrees with or is for the topic. So let's get started. So my topic is students should be involved with interviewing new teachers for their schools. So a sentence that is for that would be, some people say that students should be involved in interviewing new teachers for their schools. Now I just need to give a simple sentence that disagrees with the topic. Others would argue that it is that a new teacher interview is not the place for a student. So now I need to give my thesis statement, which states my opinion on the topic. Remember, you're not using I or I think or referring to yourself in any way. You want to make sure that your reader feels like you are an authority on this topic. So your sentence might sound something like this. Although there is controversy surrounding this issue, students definitely belong at the table when new teachers are being interviewed. Now that I've done that, I need to give 1 sentence that states my position on the topic so that I can begin writing my argument and giving support for my argument. So my position on the topic is that students should be involved in interviewing new teachers for their schools. Now here's the part where I have to go back to my brainstorming web. It says I need to give 3 sentences with details and examples and support for my argument. So if I go back to my brainstorming web, I have my 2 strongest arguments, and I can use those to help craft those 3 sentences. The first one I'm going to look at is students are the ones who will have to live with the consequences of who is hired. So now I've written, students will have to live with the consequences of who is hired because they are the people who will be spending time with the new teacher, not the principal. If I go back to my brainstorming web, I also have students spend a lot of time in the classroom and know what good teaching looks like. So let's head back to my outline and I can add that reason in. So I have articulated that reason. I've written that students spend a lot of time in the classroom with teachers, so they're better prepared than a school principal or other teachers to know what good teaching looks like. And then I expanded on it. I wrote students be able to pinpoint who will be a good teacher and be able to pass on a lot of knowledge, and they can help school administrators make the right hiring choices. So now I have to move on to my opposing viewpoint and my counter argument. So one sentence that states the opposing viewpoint is pretty easy. I just need to write one sentence stating that some people believe that students shouldn't be a part of the interview process. Okay, so now that I've done that, I need to give 3 sentences explaining why the opposing viewpoint is incorrect with details, examples, and support. So now I need to go back to my brainstorming web. So I said that the strongest argument against this is that not all interview questions and answers are things that students need to know. So here's where I need to acknowledge this and then explain why it's wrong or come up with a workaround or a fix for this. So here I have it. It could be argued that not all interview questions and answers are meant for students to hear. So I have stated that really strong argument against what it is that I want. And I'm now going to acknowledge and refute it in my counterargument. While this is true, it is a weak and easily fixed argument because students don't need to be in the room for a new teacher's entire interview. Students should be in the room for a small part of the interview to ask their own questions, then leave to write up their feedback or tell it to an adult on the interview team. Now that I've done that, I can write my conclusion. So the first thing I need to do is write one sentence that rephrases the question or topic and summarizes my position on the issue. So I need one sentence that rephrases the question and summarizes my position. So I have students should be part of the interview process for new teachers and help administrators make good decisions about who to hire. The last thing I need to do is have one sentence that summarizes my main argument and looks into the future. So my main arguments were that students are the ones who have to live with the consequences of who is hired and that they know what good teaching looks like. So if I head back here, I need to summarize my main argument and explain what will happen if students aren't allowed to be part of the interview process. Here we go. Students know what good teaching looks like and how to live with the consequences of who is hired. And if they aren't involved in that process, the wrong people could be in classrooms for years to come. So I have restated my main arguments, which are that students have to live with the consequences of who is hired. They know what good teaching looks like. And I said what would happen in the future. I said that if they aren't involved in that process, the wrong people could be in classrooms for years to come.